Let's go to the coaches selection under the coaches dashboard. And this time we are going to look at all of the coaches that we have in our system. Now, since I'm showing you a demonstration site, I've got coaches from a number of different niches. We're not likely in our own situation to have a baseball coach, a fashion and makeup coach, and a functional diagnostic nutritionist all in the same site. What's more likely is within baseball, as an example, we might have a batting coach, a pitching coach, a fielding coach, a running coach, and so forth. That's the reason why you can have multiple coaches so that you can actually have areas of expertise. It's much like we see in professional football where we have a quarterback coach. We have the head coach, we have a quarterback coach, we have a receiving coach, we have a defensive coach, and so forth. So that's the reason why you have that. But let's just take a look here at the baseball coaches that we have up on the screen. So dual voice coaching, this is simply a checkbox where we can turn that on or off, and we could clear out the secondary coach if we so chose. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. There are some tabs across the front. So for baseball, our voice and style, we're going to have an ElevenLabs voice ID. This is your cloned voice for both the primary and the secondary coach, and the coaching style, which we can put in as much information as we want to get the coach to actually behave and sound like the human coach that's associated with it. The metrics are per the baseball coach. So both coaches are going to be tied to these same metrics. And we can see that we have some things identified as metrics that we're going to look for both during evaluations and when we are displaying the report cards. Now, a lot of these for like baseball, we've got timing and stride and posture and so forth. That might be different if we do have multiple coaches in here. And let's say that we have a pitching coach as well. Well, the pitching coach may have different metrics that they evaluate someone on than the batting coach does. So this is where you specify what the metric is and then a description of that metric so that the AI knows what to actually be looking at. Uh, that's important because just as an example, we might have a metric in baseball for speed. And what we're talking about there perhaps is the speed of the ball that is being pitched. Whereas if we have a track coach, the speed is probably going to be your speed in a timed event. So the definition of what we're talking about for each metric is important there. And then finally, the framework and KPIs. KPIs are key performance indicators. So the framework is, again, for each coach. So we have a single, uh, let's go to Flex to Reclaim. We have a single framework name in our system for Flex to Reclaim. It has a short description and then a step for each phase of our framework. We can have as many steps as we want to in our framework. Sometimes it's an acronym. Uh, Sometimes it is just step 1, 2, and 3, or phase 1, 2, and 3. We give it a name of what that step is and a description. Optionally, we can put in some diagnostic questions to uh, make it easier to understand what that step is all about. So that's how you create the framework. if you are going to utilize this and you want your framework to be part of all of the feedback responses, then you would check the box up at the top that says enable framework injection into AI prompts. And that way your framework becomes part of the feedback. In addition to the framework that you have identified, we can track key performance indicators. For business, the KPIs might be things like income, uh, expenses. Those are two obvious ones. Better income, fewer expenses is obviously good. For a coach that's doing some kind of sports, a key performance indicator might be your resting heart rate. And a decrease in a resting heart rate is actually the thing that's showing improvement. And then you can give it a baseline in there as well. VO2 max, an increase of that is an improvement. Time, again, we talked about speed, maybe time, we could perhaps call it speed there, but a faster time is an improvement, and so forth. And you can add as many key performance indicators or delete those as you see fit. Whenever you've made any changes, you will, of course, want to click on the save buttons to make sure that those changes take effect. But this way you can be keeping your AI coach up to date with your latest frameworks, your latest KPIs, the latest metrics that you want to choose to coach somebody on, all of these things. You can keep it up to date yourself by going through the coach's dashboard under coaches.